Hey everybody, this is Craig Cottle, Director of Nature Reliance School. Today we're going to be taking a look at some handcrafted knives from right here in Kentucky from Marty Young Knives. Thanks for joining us. So here's what happened. The fellas over at Marty Young Knives, they handcrafted about, 45 minutes from my house here in Winchester over in Estill County, Kentucky. They sent me several knives for me to play with and work with. And I've had these knives for, oh my gosh, it's been several months. Because I don't like just getting a knife and then making a review if I don't have to. I like to play with it and work with it. They sent me the Bobcat Flipper. This is probably the simplest, easiest, most smooth action flipping knife that I've ever had in my hand. It is incredibly easy to utilize. They also sent me a small fixed blade knife with a micarta handle on it. And I don't know the names of these last two. What I've done is I've carried this knife as a neck knife. It's so incredibly light. I carried it as a neck knife for, it's been about 3 or 4 months now. I've used this knife as an EDC knife. And then they also sent me one of these big fixed blade knives. I don't know what to call it, maybe a pig sticker or Arkansas toothpick or something. This thing's a beast. I don't think it would be a useful bushcraft knife, but it will be useful as a self-defense knife, that's for sure. It has an edge on top and bottom. It's pretty heavy, and it'll be useful for that purpose. So what I wanted to do is, like in most of our reviews on knife reviews, what I like to do is not only just show you the specs, which I'm going to just give you the links for their website so you can check these out, but what I'm also going to do is just show you a quick lesson on something that you can do with a small knife where you need to accomplish a big task. That way we can show you the usability of this blade, as well as we can show you something and educate you along the way. So thanks for being here. So I've used this Bobcat Flipper again for several months, and I took it to several classes, put it in the hands of a bunch of people, and obviously they're pretty amazed at how smooth the ball bearings are on this action. So yeah, it's a great knife. We've used it for a lot of bushcraft purposes, which is not designed for that, but it actually worked pretty well. What I wanted to do today is take the actual smaller knife and do this bigger task so I can show you the function of these knives. Now, these knives I've been using again for 4 months, and I haven't sharpened them yet. So what you're seeing is 4 months of use, probably on a several times a week basis. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to create a hearthboard. Now I've got a video series on how to go about making a bow drill set. I'm not going to go into the details about making a bow drill set here, but basically all I've done is I've wrung it with the blade itself, and now what I want to do is slowly go around that ring with this small blade. It's got great jimping on it, which makes it easy for you to keep your thumb on there, and it's not so rough that it's going to wear you out to do that on several days. So as you can see, it's digging into this. This is some maple, going real easy right there to go ahead and get this started. So we're going to get this done, and then we'll come back to you. So just following along again. All I'm doing is just taking more cuts. And this little, it can be a belt knife, it can be a neck knife. That's the beauty of it. It's incredibly light. I didn't weigh it beforehand, but it's only going to be a few ounces. This thing is incredibly lightweight. So we've cut it about halfway through, so what we can do is break it real easy like. And now I'm going to cut the other side, and we'll make a little hearthboard out of this. So to cut the other side, we'll do the same thing, go all the way around. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to square this up so we can use it as a hearth. And you got these big knots, short work with this Marty Young knife. So you can see if I wanted to use it as a fine knife, I can do some fine work with it too. So we're gonna speed it up here again, but basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take an opportunity to use this little bitty tiny knife. You can see how it fits in my hand. It's a small knife, and I'm going to square it up on this side and then square it up on this side for the sake of building a hearth. And then I'm gonna show you one more cut you can make where you can take a small knife like this and use it for big task. So here we have, I've squared it up on this side and I've squared it up on this side. So let's say that, and we're not making a bow drill set, but let's say that we want to cut the pie piece out, right, for the bow drill. And again, watch our link below for the video on how to do the videos. I think it's a 3-part series on how to do a bow drill set. But let's say that we've got our pie piece that we want to take to here and we make our marks. So what a lot of people do is, I'll see them trying to saw into this, which I think we should note that we should never do that. But if you take a small blade and you're trying to make a cut into something this big, what you're going to run into is it just takes too much pressure. So go off to the corner and cut a notch in both sides. In essence, you get off what's on this side, you get off what's on this side, and then you take off what's in the middle, and so you get a big chunk. So I'll just keep doing that over here. Take off what's on this side, take off what's on this side, take off what's in the middle. This side, middle. So in essence, what I keep doing is I'm taking a small knife with little cuts to do a bigger job. So I can turn it around, do the same thing on the other side. Small cut, middle cut, small cut, middle cut. So by dressing it up a little bit, what you can see is I'm starting to make short work of this big piece with a very small knife. If I had tried to just cut this with one big cut, it's just not going to do it. And oftentimes what happens is you get chunks that fly off. That's why we're cutting small cut, middle cut, small cut, middle cut. It's a real simple way to go ahead and get a big chunk of wood out with a little knife. Whoa. So there you go. Nice big chunk cut out of this. This is not any proper design, it's just something to demonstrate that you can take a little bitty knife that you can even use as a neck knife to start doing a bigger task. Again, this is a Marty Young set of knives. Again, the Bobcat Flipper. Don't know the names of these other two, but they're fantastic knives. I think you'll like them, and I really enjoy trying to bring awareness to handcrafted gear, whether it's knives or other tools or packs or whatever. So as always, we want you to try to support those that are in your area. So find somebody around you that hand makes knives, and if somebody doesn't, then you can check out Marty Young Knives, and that way you can support these hand craftsmen that are continuing to keep these skills alive. As always with Nature Reliance School, come on, join in. Let's learn together.